But what are Liverpool in the fight for? A fight for top four? Winning trophies? Are they now there for the taking? What do you think about them?
Well, still plenty to play for. 5 is going to be enough, isn't it? Top 5 to get a place in the Champions League. So it looks like a three-way tussle between them and Chelsea and United to get into that top 5. Champions League, much like Spurs, really, their form has been better in Europe than it has in the Premier League, but they've actually come up against some decent teams and gone away from home. That was a statement victory in Marseille, so I still think they could be there or thereabouts come the business end of that tournament. You've got the FA Cup, obviously, so the season is certainly not dead, and I still think the hierarchy want to back Arne Slot. They don't want to be sacking a title-winning manager.
Speaking to Arne Slot, going to the press conferences this week and listening to him talk, I was doing the game for TV on Wednesday night, in which he said beforehand, one of the problems with our form has not necessarily been the Champions League or playing too many games or not having enough players. It's been actually the fact that when we play Champions League on a Wednesday night or a Tuesday night, we're giving it absolutely everything, which is hence why they're doing so well. But it then takes it out of them going into the weekend. And we mentioned that with Dan Towse earlier. They've got 36 points, which equals their lowest tally at this stage of the season since 15-16. 20 points worse off than at this stage last season. There's no Gomez, no Frimpong, no Bradley. So a makeshift right back will have to deal with Liverpool native Anthony Gordon this week. Newcastle did hold their own, actually, in Paris. And they should have won that game later on with the Harvey Barnes effort. Yes. Are they vulnerable to an 11th defeat of the season here?
100%. And let's not play down the fact that no Trent. Massive not having Trent service for Salah, for the forward players. How many assists did Trent get in his Liverpool career? Van Dijk has been off it. Salah has been off it. Not the same player. Hasn't got the same legs. So you look at those positions, how important they were. Losing Diaz. Fantastic form for Bayern Munich this season. So you look at all those reasons. That's why they're struggling as well. They're just not as good as they used to be. Vert is getting better every game. Ekitike, I love. 8 Premier League goals in 20 games. I really like him. He's going to get better and better. But I just look at their team and I'm like, they need more from Salah. Right back's a problem. Even Frimpong fit, Bradley fit. They're not Trent. They haven't got the passing, the assists, the crossing of what Trent has got. Kirk has needed time to get into up to speed. Konate's not been at it. So they're just not as good as they was last season.
There's no real winners from the Trent Alexander-Arnold situation at the moment because Liverpool look inferior without him.
Yep.
Real Madrid have not improved with him. And I don't think he's having a particularly great time in Spain either. It's the transfer that hasn't worked out for anybody so far.
Luis Diaz, big miss as well.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic.
His energy at the front end of the pitch.
Yes.
And although you can have a go at Darwin Núñez for a lot of things, he used to put it in every single week. And it's a different dynamic with the players that they've got now, a slightly different structure. Ekitike and Verts clearly are going to be the future of the football club. So is Alexander Isak. They came off after an hour in midweek, and they were very creative. Wirtz did brilliantly, actually, in the game. But I just wonder whether or not the Champions League arena is better suited to these players, and how long will it take them to get into the robustness and the physicality of the Premier League?
Yeah, it will take time, but then you look at Gakpo. Gakpo is a very good player, but he's not a player that you want to be playing every week. If Gakpo is playing, say, in the Champions League, you want another top winger like they had last season, Luis Diaz. Now they haven't got it. Harvey Elliott, Aston Villa. You know what I mean? How much game time would he have had this season?
Hasn't improved the team, though, does he? You look at his performances for Villa. I know he's not played many games, but I'm not sure that he's the answer.
Yeah, but Salah on that right-hand side, I know Frimpong can play there, but Salah not putting it in, not doing it, not looking like he can get past the player. Great to see him score midweek, of course, but what's your other option on that right-hand side? So I do think they are missing a couple of wingers. Semenyo would have been perfect for Liverpool.
It was interesting to hear Anthony Gordon talk this week, and Liverpool's certainly much better in the Champions League where it is less physical. And he said more football was sort of played in those games in the Champions League. He says in the Champions League, teams are much more open. They all try to play. It's less transitional. In the Premier League, it's become more physical than I've ever known it to be, he said before the match. What sort of match are we going to get?
I think it could be quite cagey. I know you think there's going to be a goal fest, but I think Liverpool with their defensive absentees, Newcastle still struggling away from home in the Premier League. I think there'll be a nervousness around Anfield. Certainly there has been over the course of this season. So, yeah, I don't think there'll be loads of goal-scoring opportunities.
What do you think?
I'm going for a 2-2 draw. I think there will be goals because so much talent on show. But Liverpool went and beat Marseille away. I know it's a hard place to go and play. But how many teams in the Premier League would beat Marseille? A lot.
Of them. I agree.
So the standard, like, yes, some great players have got Marseille, but overall, player for player, will Sunderland beat Marseille? There's an argument that they would. The Premier League is that strong.
Who would thrash
Brentford.
Karabag?
Do you know what I'm saying?
Most of the Premier League teams in the top half.
Yes, he might be easy to play in the Champions League, but because a lot of the teams in the Champions League aren't great.
It is a confidence booster, though, isn't it? Going into a game like this, having put 6 goals past Karabag, players playing better, feeling a little bit of freedom inside Anfield, just taking that anxiety down.
100% as a player, when you're scoring goals and you're getting assists, of course it is nice as well for Van Dijk as well to get, I think, got 3 assists today during the game. Van Dijk, first time from a centre half. But it's going to be totally different.
Did you see him when he was leading the line? He went charging through the middle and playing as a centre forward, then laid it off to Chiesa.
But even look at Ekitike's goal.
Yeah, it was a good goal.
I don't think he scores that in a lot of the Premier League games against proper defenders.
What, because he gets
so
closed
easy.
down?
But it was just so easy. Van Dijk plays it over the top.
Yeah, of course.
Little touch, then nicks it past the defender.
Yeah.
That's not happening in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier, Champions League at the moment, than the Premier League.
If you look at their form before that game against Karabag, especially at Anfield, they're not blowing teams away, Liverpool. They're not winning with any comfort, even in the games.
Unbeaten in the last 6 at Anfield, but drawn the last 2.
Yeah, but also when they are winning, it's by the odd goal, whereas last season they were almost winning in second gear. So there's definitely been a mentality shift as well.
The biggest issue has been conceding goals from set pieces, hasn't it? I mean, it's been an absolute nightmare this season. Only Bournemouth have conceded more than Liverpool from set pieces. No wonder they fired the set piece coach.
Yeah, but you wouldn't expect this off a Liverpool defence, would you? Over the years, Liverpool have been so strong defensively.
But isn't set piece defending a lot about attitude of player, like wanting to go and get the ball?
When we used to do set pieces with Martin Larson, he used to stand in the middle and just come and head it wherever it was. Literally, like, commanded the box. That one defender that's going to come and head it. And you'd expect that to be Van Dijk.
Who organised the set pieces when you were at Villa?
I think Steve Wolford. We didn't have a set piece coach, Steve Wolford, but we didn't really go into detail like they would now. So when he was like, okay, Gabby, you stay up and relax. Don't come back and defend. We need you on the counter attack. I was happy with that, Crookie.
You like that very well.
Yeah, that suited me.
That sounds like a Crookie role. You used to play centre half though. You go stand up there on the halfway line, do what you like.
Well, it was defend the set pieces. Everyone had their player to mark, and then you had probably 3 that were zonal, and the rest picked up. And then attacking set pieces, you had your near post, your back post, someone on the keeper. It has changed a lot now, and it's working for a lot of clubs.
They did score, actually, from a corner in midweek, and they scored from a corner down at Bournemouth, which is a rarity, actually, because they've been awful at them this season.
The goals they conceded against Bournemouth, wasn't it? The first one, Van Dijk had
32 goals this season.
Then he collides with his own player for the third goal. Yeah. Kirkes has had a bit of a nightmare overall, bar the odd game.
They can't let Robertson go, can they?
I wouldn't have thought so. I mean,
that was crazy when I heard that.
Tottenham will keep trying, I think, on deadline day, but unless they get an adequate replacement,
I don't think they can let him go from the dressing room.
Just don't make sense. What are you gaining from? What would the fee have been?
5 million.
What are you gaining from that, Liverpool?
Nothing. But it's a loyalty bonus, really, isn't it? It's like saying to someone who's given you great service, you want to play, we understand it, we will let you go. We're probably going to let you go at the end of the year anyway because his contract is up. But now, you need him in the dressing room.
You're still fighting for the Champions League.
And actually, when I was at Anfield on Wednesday night, before the game had even started, as soon as he came down into his position at the start of the game, they're all singing his name.
Exactly. Yeah, he's still fighting on a lot of fronts. Like, you've got a chance of the Champions League. You need to get top 5. That's not guaranteed. It's going to be a race for that. He could be the player that starts more than Kirkes the rest of the season.
Newcastle scored just 10 goals away from home this season. Nick Voltemada has gone 9 games without a goal. He scored just in 2 of his last 21 appearances.
Not having him. I'm not having him. Watched him a lot. Not. When they signed him, I thought, okay, yeah, saw him in the under 21s, done well, but I'm just not sure. Doesn't look strong. Doesn't hold the ball up with any conviction.
He's got a great
very
touch,
slow.
Like
a little touch. But when you watch it, sometimes he takes a touch and he just knocked over too easy.
Doesn't impose himself on games.
Yeah, like the size of him, not very good in the air. Misses a lot of chances from headers.
Are you suggesting he's a big lad with not much upper body strength?
Yes, I'm just not sure about him, mate. Why was he pointing at you, Cookie?
I just go back to the summer they had, and obviously the Isak saga dragged on probably longer than it should have done. If the owners were going to sell him anyway, they should have done it, I think, much earlier in the window. They tried for Ekitike. Brian Mbumo was a big target at the start of the window. Imagine the difference their attack would look now if they got both of those players in.
Ekitike would have been perfect for them. Vissa is going to take time, but I do think he will do well for Newcastle once he gets up to speed.
I'm not convinced on
You're not sure about him, no?
On the back of one goal laden season. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, he's already scored 3 goals, hasn't he? And he fits the idea of what they want to do, which is run in behind. And actually, when Jacob Murphy was in the team, spinning the balls in behind defences, he can get on the end of them. He should have scored against Manchester City in the Carabao Cup. But Murphy's injury has caused them an issue because it doesn't give them natural balance on the right-hand side. They've been using Barnes out there and sort of fudging it, really.
Gordon needs to get a goal, doesn't he?
Yeah.
In the Premier League, has a score for over a year.
He's done very well in the Champions League, but hasn't done too much
in the
Premier League.